Hey, and welcome to Taxes and Tacos. My name is Paul.
And I'm Sue.
Hey, we're also joined by
There's
Kayla
also.
and Jennifer. What's up?
Hi. 2 weeks left. 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm just.
We're in the
Oh,
final
you just
countdown.
locked it in right there.
I'm really
We've been
excited.
debating, so we'll talk about deadlines later. But
2 weeks
next
of season left. Is where I'm
Monday is tax day. Yeah, is it next Monday? No,
No.
2.
2 weeks left.
Right, right.
Kayla.
But it falls
Listen.
on Monday, so we're debating whether or not we do a show. If next week's our last show, if we do one the following Tuesday, the day after tax day. But Kayla just locked us in,
I
saying
was
2
just
more weeks.
Counting down to tax day, but okay.
Kayla's like, I just want to confirm.
I'm afraid that
That is
this
not-
is gonna get smushed and shoot salsa.
That
on
would
your
be
nice white
unfortunate.
shirt. I
All-
told Susanna that we could not be more is oppositely
Opposite, yes.
oppositely. What is the
More
word?
differently dressed.
More differently
Let's go with
dressed
that.
today with she's dressed up and I'm casually
I'm
dressed
not
down.
necessarily dressed up. We're just like
yeah,
very.
but I have a trucker hat on backwards.
Well, I can have
Okay.
a trucker hat.
Anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in. There is only 2 more weeks, and this has been fun. So if it's your first time for some reason, I'm glad you finally made it here. Comment on the Facebook comments 1040 bot that gets you entered to win free lunch, potentially. We're going to draw a name, but you might be entered to win. You might win free lunch. You will be entered.
And that'll just be one more time. So this
Yeah,
is
one
like
more time.
your
So this
last
is
chance.
it. If you have
Last
not
chance.
1040, commit to the 1040 bot. All right, commit to the 1040 bot. It's awesome. We do a Q&A. If you're watching this live and you want to submit a question, we'll try and answer that.
Especially now it's getting close to tax day. Like,
if we
you got
can't
those
answer it
last minute
now,
things.
we'll get you an answer. all right?
Absolutely.
So with all that crazy intro, it's the longest intro we've done. Let's get into just the tax. It was like a game show. That was fun.
That was exciting.
Hey, there's some tax extensions this season for disaster relief. Sue, hit us with it.
Awesome. So, depending on when the disaster happens, natural disasters, when they happen and where they fall during tax season, the IRS will provide some tax relief for that. And most of the time that happens in the form of extended deadlines. So for Alabama, the victims of the tornadoes back a couple of months ago and the severe storms in Alabama have until July 31st of this year to file certain individual and business tax returns and make tax payments. So you don't have to worry about that April 15th deadline coming up. You've got a little bit of extra time, but that only applies to certain counties in Alabama. So make sure that those counties apply to you.
I have a question about that real quick.
Yes.
And I'm putting you on the spot.
That's okay.
So maybe we have to get an answer for
Yes.
sure. You were there when this happened.
Yes.
Do you have to be a resident of that county? Because like if you're there for work and you're there for a month or something like that, and this happens, can you qualify for that extension?
If you live there or own a business that is there. Now, if I was just passing through,
Right.
that wouldn't necessarily affect my long-term taxes because say
Yeah,
if you
that makes
own a
sense.
business in
Yeah.
that county
Yeah.
and it gets destroyed, your entire financial situation has been upended, right? So
Right.
that gives you
Yeah.
a little extra time to like get your stuff together. And let's say your house is destroyed. Well, you don't have time to go and kind of like get things together. If
I
you're
think
just
I was
passing
thinking of like
through,
from like an insurance angle where it's like, no, my car really was damaged in this storm that I
Right.
happened to be in this other
Right.
state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm with you.
insurance would be one thing, but like when it comes to your financial records and transactions. So if you live or own a business that is in one of the qualifying counties, you will qualify for that extension.
That's Alabama. There's also Nebraska and Iowa.
Yes, the
Yeah.
victims of severe winter storms that happened in parts of Nebraska on March 9th and parts of Iowa on March 12th may be eligible for some tax relief too. So the IRS has a disaster relief page where you can go and check that out. That's where you can check out if the county that you live in will have tax relief and what sort of things you can get tax relief for and what that will look like. So make sure that you check that out.
Awesome. Hey, some other Just the Tax info. Refunds being chopped up into 2 payments.
Yes. So whenever you file your taxes, you may get your overall refund is going to be this much. But then when you get either your checks in the mail or your direct deposit, it may be in 2 different parts. And that could be confusing. But the reason for that is that you're actually getting, if you live in a state that has state taxes, you're getting a state refund and a federal refund.
Yeah.
So for me, for instance, my federal refund was bigger than my state, but my state came much later than my federal did.
Sure.
So it looked like, it's like, wait, why is my refund smaller? It wasn't. I just didn't get my state part until a little bit later. So
Makes perfect sense.
yeah, exactly. So if you want to learn more about that, we have an awesome blog. And it kind of goes through why your refund is chopped into 2 or more pieces. The or more refers to people who may work in different states. And so that will just go through and kind of show you exactly what to expect and how all of that works. Hey, look at
Look
that.
at that awesome pop-up.
Oh,
Fine,
so
don't sign up.
sad. Missed out on our monthly tips and hacks. That's my blog.
That is like such a sassy thing. You must have written that.
I didn't write that. Actually, James wrote that. I was like,
Sorry, James, for watching. I
just
kind of
said-
just called you sassy.
it's fine.
Hey, and remember last week we talked about I think it was last week, some states don't have state tax, so that might
Right.
play into this as well. If you're going, oh, I don't know, I got my refund in one sum, that might be because you don't have state tax. So,
Exactly.
hey,
So-
let's jump into From the
Dive.
Filter. That sounded more like an air brake on a semi-truck than it did me doing a cannonball. Hey, last week we recapped our 1040.com World Water Day efforts. We had a great time. But one thing we did not tell you about, or maybe we did but didn't elaborate, was that our friends at Healing Waters International also dropped a documentary on World Water Day. This thing is beautiful. It follows this gentleman who is a professional soccer player in his life. He was injured, and his life has since taken a completely different turn. The film is called Four Year Well, so you can kind of get an idea of what that's like. But go check this out at the Healing Waters YouTube channel. Vimeo, Healing Waters International. Check out the 4 Year Well. Incredible story, beautifully done. And what's up, Walter?
Oh, it's Walter.
So yeah, go check it out. And don't forget, while you're looking up Healing Waters, go to their website, healingwaters.org. Is that right?
Yes.
Healing Waters, it's not international, just healingwaters.org.
Mm-hmm.
And scroll down on their homepage there and check out their Saturate efforts. It's awesome, an easy way to give to what they're doing. Hey, that's cool. Tales and fails. Today, we thought it'd be fun to look at how $200,000 is taxed in different states. So earning $200,000 in Alabama, is it the same as earning $200,000? I have had too much coffee. $200,000 in California. The cost of living is totally different in each state. So check this out from our friends at Forbes. The highest tax states in America. What do you think? Shout it out wherever you're watching, listening from. Highest tax states.
I would shout it out, but I've got the answers in front of me.
All right, so we know
unfair.
people are saying New York, right? And then probably a lot of you are saying California. But California is not the highest. It's New York and Hawaii. You like that? Hawaii.
I don't think there's an H in there.
There is when you live where we live.
Hawaii.
And there's also a S on the end of Walmart.
Yeah. And there's also a V in front of McDonald's. It's the McDonald's.
Oh,
Maybe
I thought
that's
you
in
said a
South
V.
Alabama.
I thought you said a V. I'm like, McDonald's.
McDonald's. No.
All right, so the lowest tax state. Anybody?
Jennifer, can I make my pun?
No.
Yeah,
Please?
make it.
Okay. I said, are you aware
Of the lowest
of
tax.
the lowest tax state because it's Delaware?
Hey. That's fun.
Jennifer was going to come across the table at me, but it's fine.
So there you have it. If you live in the highest states, I'm so sorry. Hopefully you planned accordingly and clearly know this. I was sharing, I have a friend, retired military, that lived in Hawaii, said it was extremely expensive to live there. What they've pulled something up for us. What is this?
This is
what
in the
you'll
Forbes.
actually get to take
Oh,
home.
yeah, here you go. Yeah.
The difference.
Yeah, the difference. So in New York, for example, I'm just going to read this. So read along with me. After you pay taxes a low of $134,000, at the opposite end of the spectrum, you'll take home $149,500 being a resident of Delaware. Wow.
$15,000.
Yeah, amazing.
Just from living.
just from breathing in those states for a year.
Well, I don't know if it's breathing, but
Well, I mean, at its simplest form.
that's pretty wild.
That's so wild.
What if you lived in New York, but you did freelancing jobs out
Don't
of
even.
Hawaii?
We're gonna go.
So then you have to pay state taxes on both. That would
Your freelance better be like the most epic job.
the
ever.
most epic.
Like. Anyway, that's that. That's that.
Paul's like, this is tax. This is not interesting. I'm like, but what if you did this, 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 and this? And Paul's like, Sue, stop.
But what if you just went into upcoming deadlines?
Oh.
Hey,
What a transition.
yeah.
That was
Here's
solid.
one. It's the same as last week because we're getting so close to the end of tax season and tax day. The deadline's the same. It's called April 15th. Hello. All right. Except,
wow, that was sassy.
Except we have a few states for two different reasons that will tax day will be on the 17th.
Yes.
All right. So there's some states that celebrate some crazy holidays, and I wish we all celebrated some of these, but it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't make as much sense because of the geographical location.
Right. So if your state celebrates Emancipation Day or Patriots Day, those will push it back to the 17th.
Congratulations.
Those both sound like super cool
Yeah.
holidays. I kinda wanna
Patriots
do
Day?
that.
Are you kidding me? That sounds like a blast.
That's what I said. We should. That's just when people honor Heath Ledger and
oh my gosh.
Mel Gibson and
Or football.
or yeah. Oh no, we don't go there.
No,
we don't go
yeah.
there.
It just
Kayla.
happens to be there, but no. Hey, that's also the day of the Boston Marathon, so that's fun. A big day. The city shuts down. I mean, it's an amazing time to be in that state.
Very cool.
And by that state, I mean Massachusetts. Hey, wow. Consider an extension. All right. We've talked about this a few times. If you're not ready to file on the 15th, or if you're in these three states and you're not ready to file on the 17th, consider an extension. All right. But go ahead and get it done because, as we've said, the penalties can add up, and the penalty to file. Let's see if I can get this right. The penalty to file is less than the more
There you go.
than the penalty to pay.
Exactly. So if you don't pay by the 15th, those penalties will be smaller than if you don't file by the 15th.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of filing because you think that you can't pay your taxes. Go ahead and file, and then you can figure out the tax bill as you go after that. So an extension will extend the time that you get to file, but it doesn't extend the time that you get to pay. So whether you file an extension or you don't, any payment will be due on the 15th. But again, if you can't pay by the 15th, there are things that you can do. You have options. We have a really cool blog post about that. If you can't pay, either you can't afford the tax bill or you just can't pay by the 15th, we've got info on that. So check out the blog there.
Hit it up.
Yes.
Hey, and also hit it up before the 15th because we know after the 15th, you don't think about us.
I know.
And we get a little sad, but that's okay. We'll see you next year.
That's when
Hey,
we just like,
let's move into our Q&A. We've got a couple questions here.
We've got
And,
one question for you.
hey.
So, your
We
question.
got one question.
This was
That's what I said.
This was actually submitted verbally to our team. It says, I didn't keep any receipts from my first year of business. What do I do?
This is a really good question. So if you're freelancing and you've been, especially if it's your first year, you may not have realized that when you go to file your taxes, nobody's going to send you a W-2 that says
Sure.
this is how much I earned and this is how much was kept out for, taxes and that sort of thing. So it can be a little overwhelming when it gets to this point in the year and you think, oh gosh, like I don't know everything that I had, and maybe I didn't get receipts. So if you didn't keep receipts throughout the year, a couple of places that you can check is, first of all, bank statements where you had deposits or maybe people sent you money, that sort of thing. Bank statements are a great place to look. Also look through emails, any correspondence that you had with clients where they said, okay, maybe I've sent you this on this day. Anything that you have that would detail how much that you were paid and when you were paid that amount will help you be able to have records to back things up. So, and that's just good to have, first of all, to be able to add up all of your expenses. and income over the course of the year, but it's also good to have records of that just in case you get audited, which we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Audits are not scary unless you're trying to lie necessarily. It's going to be a back and forth process, and it does take time, and it can be a little annoying if you passing things back and forth, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's basically just the IRS saying, hey, we saw this, we're not sure that this adds up, can you prove to us that this does in fact add up? So having those records definitely helps with that.
And if you don't have receipts, it doesn't mean you failed as your first year of being, or not even first year. Hopefully it's your first year and you learned a lesson. But I have a friend that started freelancing like mid-year, right? And it was just kind of like a accident in a way.
Yep.
Like what they do, they're good at, and people wanted to pay them to do it, so they started doing it without really a business plan. So now they're having to go back and figure it out. But hopefully next year you go into it with a whole new organizational. Man, I can't speak. I'm telling you, this coffee. It's called West Coast something. Whew. All right. Is that it? We did it.
Yay! 1 week left, guys. Just one more time that you can file.
2 weeks left.
Well, 2 weeks left technically.
Yeah,
but
Kayla's
only
locked
one,
us in.
Only
There's
1
exactly
week left.
14 days.
Literally 14.
But there's only 1 week left that you can get lunch, right? Free
Oh,
lunch.
yes. Sorry.
Yes. So this is
Yeah.
Forget
it's
filing.
the food.
It's
So
lunch.
yes, so you have 2 weeks to file, but this is the last week that you can type 1040bot in the comments
I'm telling
and
you,
be entered.
If you have commitment issues, this is your moment. I'm going to stare into this camera lens and say, this is your chance.
And I'm gonna tell you, yes, it is creepy, and you don't have to feel like you.
1040
aren't
bot. Let's do it. Hey, speaking of, let's give away lunch. This week's winner is Mr. Ryan Norton. Thanks for watching the show. Send us a direct message on Facebook, and we will get information from you and send you some information to make this happen.
Congratulations, Taxes and Tacos' newest, biggest fan.
Yeah. Hey, as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, share this with your friends. Follow us on our outlets, I suppose. Our YouTube channel is kicking. If you are a Pinterest person, I'm not, but if you've got boards and you're pinning wedding dresses and whatever else, your DIY flower beds, check out our Pinterest page. Listen, I can't contribute to Pinterest, but what I can do is contribute to promoting Pinterest.
Hey,
so go
well
check it
done.
out. These ladies have been crushing it all year, and it's awesome, I'm sure. Hey, we'll see you next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Thank you. Bye.
Tacos.
Time
Tacos.
for tacos.
Here,
I'll catch it.
here
I'll
it
catch
comes.
it.
It's
Over
being
the
better.
microphone.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I won't.
My heart.
There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. So.